Hi friends, Bri here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my second part of my reading journal setup video. So if you haven't seen the first part, I do recommend starting with that so you can see how I set up all of these spreads and how I plan to use them. But just as a quick recap, I have two reading journals for this year. One that I plan to use for my reading challenges, statistics, all that kind of stuff, and a separate one for all the book spread reviews that I do. If you want to see what these reading journals look like, I recommend checking out my 2026 reading journal playlist or my mid-year check-in video. There I will show you both notebooks. But as I was saying, because I have a separate notebook for the book spreads, that notebook got filled at the end of June, so I thought it would be fitting to start a new one for the second half of the year. And originally I didn't plan to make an entire setup video, or well, I guess 2 videos about it, but somehow the spreads that I wanted to set up just completely got out of hand, so I plan to make one spread for my ARCs, so my advanced reader copies that I started requesting and reviewing this year. But somehow I ended up with 14 spreads total, so I made 2 videos about it. So this is the second part of my reading journal setup. I have done a lot of these kind of square trackers. I'm not sure what else to call them, but basically I've done them to track the number of pages that I read, for genres, for ratings, for format of the book, and the idea behind them is to color each square depending on how many pages the books had in this case, or what the genre of the book was, the format, and it's a lot of work, I would say, to set up the spread, like not even so much to decorate the spreads, but to set up like the layout, to draw all the squares, to stamp the numbers. It's quite a lot, and honestly I would understand if most people thought that this was like completely redundant thing to do. But I do find it a lot of fun to decorate these pages and to keep up with these trackers. I wasn't sure at first if I wanted to do it or if it would be too much work, but I thought to just give it a try anyway, and so far I have been quite liking it, so I am very much considering doing this for next year as well. But well, let's see how that goes. But for now, I should probably talk about the spread because I didn't really get to mention what kind of stationery I used. The alphabet pad tape and the grid washi tape is from Taylor Ryan Design. The blue and green washi tape behind the title is from Marigona Sully. And then the stickers are from Kinga Store. I keep saying Kinga Store, but her store is called, well, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Bujojec, or like my Hungarian mind would say Bujoye, but that doesn't sound right either, so I'm not exactly sure how to say it, but if I remember, I will try to link it in the description so you can find her store on Etsy. She has so many nice stickers and pad tapes and washi tapes, so I am like a huge fan of hers, and she's also a very sweet person, so if you are looking for stationery, I definitely recommend checking out her store. Like, this is not sponsored or anything like that, I just genuinely love her art and what she does, so I have to always shout her out whenever I use her stuff. Now, as you can see, I am going to color code or like make the key for the spread so I know what color to use. And for every single color, I also write down the number of the pen because I don't trust myself to remember it, especially when there's so many different shades that are like close or like somewhat similar. But yeah, that was it for the page tracker. And the next one will be kind of similar. This will be for the year the book was published. And as you can see, the format is a little bit different this time. I put the like key below the squares that I will be coloring in, just to switch things up a little bit. Like, I do love to have like, consistency in my notebooks sometimes, but I also like to switch things up a little bit every now and then. So for these kind of square trackers, I did change between these 2 formats. And again, the way these work are quite similar. I will write down the key or like the explanation of the colors that I use below, and then I will color in the squares depending on what year the book was published. This is simply just to see like how many books I read from each year. And as for the decoration, the really pretty purple sky washi tape that I used is from BGM. I bought this at a local Hungarian store, but I am quite sure that you can find it in many places. As far as I know, BGM is a Japanese brand, but I've seen many people also sell it on Etsy, so you can just either look it up on Etsy or maybe Google BGM washi tape and see what pops up if you find any stores that are local to you. But this is like such a pretty washi tape. Like, it's, I think, one of my all-time favorite washi tapes ever. So I had to use it because I think it fits quite well with the rest of the decoration. And then the other washi tape that I used, the blue one with the text, is from Paper Monogatari. At the moment of me recording this voiceover, she is still on maternity leave, but I am hopeful that she will come back soon and she will come out with more stationery because her stuff is always really pretty. Then the alphabet pet tape that I used is also from Taylor Ryan Design. I use a lot of her alphabet pet tapes. I used to have all of them while she was still shipping to the European Union. So I have a lot of her pet tapes. And then the rest of the decoration is from Marigo Nasuli. She released this collection in 2025, I believe. And I always love using it so much. Like, it's super pretty. I love these soft blues and pinks and purples. So I just had to use it for the setup as well. And because I felt like the sides of the spread were a little bit empty, I also decided to add some decoration there. So not just to have a header or like a decoration on top of the page, I also added some to the sides. And basically that's it for the spread. And honestly, I think it's really cute. It's, well, I would say one of my favorite spreads, but honestly, for this reading journal setup, I feel like I really love all of them. And that honestly makes me really happy because, well, it's such a good feeling to set up a spread that you love, or like set up an entire reading journal that you love. But yeah, as you can see, I quickly colored in the squares. I mostly skipped past this part because I feel like it's maybe not that interesting to watch. And with that, we can move on to the next spread, which will be also a tracker for the years that the book was published in. But this one is a little bit of a different format. Maybe you might think it's again redundant to have different kind of trackers for the same thing, but this one I think will do a better job at showing how many books I read from each year, because like you will see quite easily which year I read the most from. And this is again just for fun, just so I can see like which year I read the most from. And so far, because by this point I have already started to fill up the page, it looks like the most books I read are from 2026, because I have read a lot of arcs and those are published this year. Oh, and by the way, speaking of arcs, if you are wondering why there is also a tracker for 2027 when we are only in 2026, it is because of the arcs again. Like, you can request them a few months before they get published, and I was thinking that maybe towards the end of the year I will end up requesting books that will only be published next year, so I thought to include 2027 as well, just to have it there in case I need it. And how this works is when I read a book from that year, I will just color in a square, and then I can easily see, again, like I said before, from which year I read the most. And yeah, so far 2026 is like taking the lead quite clearly because of the arcs, but also because I do try to read a lot of books that are like newly released. By this point, after having a reading journal for almost 2 years now and being more active on Bookstagram and such, I feel like I have some authors that are my favorites or authors that I like to keep up with. So now, whenever one of my favorite authors is due to release a new book, I try to place it on hold at the library as soon as possible, so I get to read it as soon as possible. So that's also kind of the reason why I have so many books that I read in 2026. I don't think that you will see like the end results because I won't color the squares in like during the video, but I do plan to have some posts about this on my Instagram, so you can check it out if you want to see how I fill in these pages. But now quickly about the decoration that I used before I am done with this setup. Most of the washi tapes and the stickers that I used are also from Marigona Sully. The alphabet pet tape is again from Taylor Ryan Design, and I think the only washi tape on this spread that's not from Marigona Sully is the green one that's from Latoon. So that was it for the spread. I managed to finish it like quite in time. And for the next spread, we have sort of like a reading mosaic. Well, you will see that I end up naming the page like reading matrix, which is wrong. I don't know why I end up naming the page like matrix, because that's a different kind of spread, but somehow I messed it up when I was setting it up and I didn't realize, and after I realized, I couldn't fix it anymore because I will use a certain alphabet stickers and I don't have all the letters from that sticker, so I decided to just take the loss and leave the page like this and just call it a matrix, even though it's not. But yeah, just as an explanation, because like I said, this is called a reading mosaic, but you will see that I end up writing a different title, so just so you know why that is. But how this works is, again, I draw squares for each book that I read. So for every single spread that I set up, I drew 110 squares because my goal for this year is to read 100 books. But I always make a few extra squares, or I leave extra space in my trackers just in case I end up being more productive than I hope to be. So yeah, I have 110 squares and they are divided in 4 triangles, and each triangle is for a different thing. You can completely customize how you want to set up your own reading mosaic if you decide to do it. You can track genre, star rating, the month you read in, the format of the book, the number of pages. You can track a lot, but for me personally, I decided to track 4 things. So for me, the top triangle will be for the genre of the book, the one on the right will be for the number of pages, the one on the bottom will be for the month that I read the book in, and the one on the left will be for rating. So as you can see, I have like the key spread here, and I will write down like what color I use for each thing basically that I track. It's a bit complicated, I feel like, to track so many things, and again I was a bit worried of how difficult it would be to update these spreads, especially when you do read quite a lot of books like I do. Well, for me at least 100 of books quite counts like a lot, but I wanted to give it a try, like I said. And here you can see that I was like trying to figure out what to do with the pages, because I didn't like the fact that like half of the table was like peeking through. Like I thought it didn't look nice, so I decided to add some washi tape on the border of the pages, but because I didn't leave enough like room, I had to sort of like glue the washi tape to itself, if that makes sense. Like I think you can see here what I mean, and because of that it felt like it wasn't solid enough. I don't know how to explain it. Like it felt a bit wobbly and I wasn't sure if I liked it, so as you can see I tried to take it off, but then it ended up ripping the page a little bit, so I was like, okay, I guess now I have no other choice but to put it back. But I still wasn't completely satisfied with how it looked, especially because like the edges of the washi tape is not straight, so I couldn't line it up perfectly, and it really bothered me for some reason. So yeah, I really debated a lot what to do with it, and in the end I decided to keep it like this because I felt like this was like the lesser of two evils basically. So yeah, I really didn't like it in the beginning, but I think now that I have used this spread for a little bit, I feel like it has started to grow on me a little bit, so now I don't mind it that much. I would have liked to figure out a way to have like all the keys visible like this, so I wouldn't constantly have to turn the page, but because I have an A5 notebook, I couldn't figure out how to fit everything basically on the right side to be visible, so this is what I ended up going with. but I think it still works. So yeah, if you have maybe a bigger journal or like a square journal, like or a B5, I think it would be easier to have all the keys visible. And now we get to the part that I explained in the beginning. So here you can see that I spell out matrix instead of mosaic, but well, it is what it is. And speaking of the decoration, I used exclusively stickers and washi tapes from Ikigai Papier. If you don't know, I am a rep for her for this summer, so everything that you see here except the alphabet stickers were gifted to me as part of the rep package, so all the washi tapes and stickers are from her summer collection. And I wanted to make a page dedicated to it because I really love this summer collection. And I mentioned before in previous videos that I really love capybaras. Like for me, like the top 3 animals are capybaras, red pandas and bunnies. So I really wanted a spread dedicated to this new summer collection. And speaking of this new collection and of Ikigai Papier, if you want to check out her store, you can use my code BREE10 for 10% off at checkout. All the codes and discount codes and links and everything that I have will always be in the description, so you can check it out for yourself if you want to treat yourself to something new. But yeah, with that being said, I am almost done with this spread. As you can see, I added some decorations in the bottom right corner because those tables were not so long, so it didn't fill the entire page. And honestly, I think it's really cute and I am really happy with how it turned out. And I think at this point my camera overheated, so I did lose a bit of the footage, but it was only of me like color coding everything, and I felt like it wasn't that interesting to see anyway. But basically I was setting this up, I don't even remember when it was, in June I think, but the thing is that we got like super hot weather and I have to set this up in the kitchen because that's where I have natural light. And it's super hot there, so the downside of having the natural light is that I am constantly sitting in the sun, and we do get really hot summers in Hungary now. Like we've had several days with 40 degrees, so I was like really going through it when I was setting this up, and I think so was my phone. Like after every spread I had to stop and like leave it to cool down, put it in the fridge for a little bit, so there was unfortunately a little bit of footage left, but thankfully it wasn't anything too important. Like you have seen from the previous spreads, I didn't really include when I colored in the keys and such, so I think nothing was like really lost that was important. And yeah, as you can see here, I was once again trying to peel up the washi tape because I got insecure and I didn't like it anymore. But yeah, because of the page that was ripped below it, I had to leave it like this. But I think it's not as bad. Like I think it definitely looks better having the washi tape there than without it. But yeah, here you can see I finished coloring in all the little boxes that I had, and now we can move on to the next spread, which will be my bingo. So I set up a challenge like this in my 2025 reading journal, and then for some reason I didn't do it in my first reading journal of 2026. I am not sure why. I thought that it would be like not that important to do, and when I was setting up my 2026 reading journal, I did end up giving up on certain spreads because I was worried that I would like try to set up too much and that it would be just like too much basically. But honestly, after a little while passed, I sort of ended up regretting that. So I decided to set up everything that I didn't in the first like reading journal, like to do it now. And honestly, I think I will have the same mindset for 2027. I know it's maybe too early to be thinking of my 2027 reading journal, but I have already started planning it out. And I have a lot of spreads. Like basically I will once again be filling an entire notebook only with my challenge spreads and my stats and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, for next year I do want to go all out and make a lot of spreads, and I am super excited to start working on that. But yeah, for now, let's go back to this spread that I am setting up here, which is the bingo spread, like I said. So now let me go through the decoration that I used. The grid washi tape below the word bingo is from the washi tape shop. I got it quite a few years ago, back in 2021, I believe, so I don't think it's for sale anymore. Then the washi tape below that is from Marigona Sully. The alphabet pet tape is once again from Taylor Ryan Design, and the stickers are from Kinga. And so were the paper that I ripped up. It's a printable that she sends every month to her Patreons, because I'm a patron of hers. Of course, I mentioned how much I like her art, so naturally I had to sign up for her Patreon. And I think that's all of it. I didn't end up filling in the bingo challenge on the video, but like I said before, I will post pictures of the spreads on my Instagram, so you can go check that out if you want to see how it looks. And then we can already move on to my next spread, which will be for my buddy reads. This was the very first time I set up a spread for this, because, well, I haven't really done any buddy reads before, but this year I ended up reading some books, both with a friend and also with some lovely people that I got to know through my Bookstagram. So I thought it would be nice to make a spread for this. The format of the spread is quite similar to how I set up some of my other spreads in my first reading journal. So I did my 6-star spread like this, but for next year I also came up with a different idea, because in this spread, all I plan to do is have the cover and write with whom I read the book. But for next year, I want to also write the rating that I gave the book. So what rating I gave and what rating gave the person that I read the book with, just for fun comparison. And for the decoration, because we are almost done with this spread, this was a super quick one to do. So for decoration, I used the pet tape stickers from Taylor Ryan Design. So this alphabet pet tape sticker is from her, and so is the bow washi tape, and then the rest of the washi tapes and the cherry stickers and these frame stickers are also from Kinga. But yeah, because the page will be mostly filled with the cover of the books, it's not that full now, so it might look a little bit empty. That's why I tried to add a few more stickers between where the covers will go. But like I said, because it will be filled with the covers, I didn't want to add too much decoration, because the book covers would just end up covering it, and I don't want the page to look too busy once I end up gluing in all the covers. So it might look empty now, but it won't be so empty once I start gluing in the covers. But yeah, that is basically it for this spread, only adding a few stars for extra decoration. And then finally we get to the very last spread that I set up in this video. And this will be sort of like a yearly comparison for my book stats. So as you can see, I have the graph separated by months, and then for each month I will draw in a column for basically every year. So I will compare how many books I read in January in 2022, 2023, 2024, and so on, because I have all of this info. I keep track of all the books that I read in a spreadsheet, or a separate spreadsheet for each year. And so I had this information available, and I was able to use it for this spread. I didn't come up with the idea myself. I saw Chapters and Pujos do this on Instagram, and I just had to recreate it because I think it's so fun to see the comparison, each year and each month, how much I read. And as you can see, I already penciled in how much I read for each month. And basically what I definitely noticed is that in the summer months I read a lot less. In some years I read only one book in the summer month, or in June, for example. In some years I didn't read a single book throughout the summer, and I feel like this is something that always happens for some reason. I think because it's so hot, and I just find it harder to read when it's so hot, and also of course there are more plans during the summer. And then what I noticed also is that usually in January I do read quite a lot of books. Maybe you can see that I read 12 books in January of this year. And then usually after summer is over, typically in September or October, my motivation to read comes back. So there was like a trend that in summer I read a lot less, and then suddenly in September or October I started reading more. And I just find this super interesting to look at, to like notice my own habits throughout the years. And so this kind of spread was perfect for me. And I'm super excited for the fact that I can also set it up next year, and then I can have like a comparison throughout multiple years to see how my reading habits changed. And one thing I want to say is that I am very proud of myself, because this July I actually managed to read 11 books, which is quite a lot, like compared to certain years where I barely read 1 month or didn't read any books in the summer. 11 books is quite a lot. Like, I think so far the most books I read in a month was this year in January, which was 12 books, and now I managed to read 11 books in July, so that's like a super huge win for me, and I was very happy about it. But basically that's it. Like, if you love like looking at statistics, I think you might understand my excitement for this, because it's just super satisfying for me, and I really love to see the statistics like this. So yeah, but that was it for the yapping about the statistics part. Now about the decoration, the washi tape that I used on the side and the pet tape that you see me use with the swans and the ballet shoes, those are from Paper Monogatari. Like I said earlier in the video, her shop is currently closed, or it is closed when I'm recording this voiceover. And then the alphabet pet tape is again from Taylor Ryan Design, and I think that's pretty much it. The frame behind the swan is also from Taylor Ryan Design, and yeah, that's it. That's it basically. The only thing left to do is to color in the bars for each month. I wanted a different color for every year, so it's a bit easier to tell the difference between the years. And honestly, looking at it now, I might not have picked the best colors. Like, I feel like the colors don't match the decoration that well, but that's just a minor detail, and probably it's only bothering me. But yeah, I really love how it looks. Like, it's just so satisfying. Like, I know I keep saying this, but honestly it brings me so much joy to be able to look back at my habits throughout the years, I should say. And yeah, as you can see, or as you will see, I only colored in the bars for all the like past years and then up until June, because I only set this up in June, so I didn't know yet how much I will read in the next month, of course, but I will update this after every single month, so at the end of the year I can see how my reading this year compared to my reading in the past years. But basically that was it. Like, I really can't believe that I managed to like wrap this up. Like, it's quite a long video for me, the 32 minutes, and the previous video was 35 minutes, I believe, like the part 1. So these are quite big projects for me to do, because it does take a lot of time to set up all the spreads, to edit, to do such a long voiceover. But I am honestly so happy about this, and I am quite proud also of how this notebook turned out, and also how the video turned out. So I really hope that you will enjoy it as well. I know it's a bit weird, like I said in the first video, to set up a new reading journal in the middle of the year, but I really hope that if you are looking for inspiration for your own reading journal, that you have found some here. And well, I did say that maybe it's a bit weird, but maybe that's not the right word. Maybe I should say it's a bit unusual to set up a new reading journal in the middle of the year. But if you want to set up your own reading journal, like no matter what time it is, I definitely recommend it. It doesn't have to be in January. It can be whenever. Like, if you want to set up a new reading journal, I say go for it, because it's honestly so much fun. And yeah, like I said, I really hope you are able to find some inspiration here. But if you want to see even more reading journal spreads, I recommend to check out my mid-year check-in. There you can see all the reading journal spreads that I made. Or I do recommend to check out my Instagram, because I also post there a lot of reading journal spreads. I post all my reading journal, like book spreads that I make in my reading journal, so there's definitely a lot of reading journal related inspiration that you can find on my accounts. So yeah, I really hope that you will enjoy them. And honestly, like doing the video now while I am already thinking of setting up my 2027 reading journal was kind of nice, and honestly it just made me even more excited to finally start working on the 2027 reading journal. Like I know it's super early for it, but like I said, I have so many ideas for next year. Like for 2027 I want to go all out and just try everything that I could possibly think of, and then I will see what is it that I like and what is it that I want to keep. But yeah, I am not sure yet how to do my videos, because if 14 spreads took me 2 videos, I don't know how many videos it might take me to be able to share all the spreads that I set up in the 2027 notebook. So I might have to do like an entire month full with reading journal setup videos, because like there will be so much, like there's no way that I can include everything in a video or 2. So we will see how it goes. But for now, thank you so much for watching the video. If you liked it, please consider subscribing, giving the video a thumbs up, or leaving a comment. It always really makes me happy whenever I receive a comment from you guys and whenever you tell me your opinions of the spreads that I make. So yeah, do let me know which one is your favorite. Like I said before, I feel like this time it's really hard for me to choose, so I don't think I can choose like one single favorite, because I am very happy with how this notebook turned out, and I feel like it's just so me, if that makes sense. But yeah, do let me know your favorites, and thank you so much again for watching. Oh, and by the way, if you have any new like spread ideas for reading journals, please feel free to leave them in the comments. Like I know I just said that my next year's reading journal is going to be like super like big project, because I have so many spread ideas. I always want to hear more. Like I want to hear what kind of spreads you plan to do in your own reading journal. If you have any suggestions, like I'm always open for more recommendations for spreads that I can set up, because I really want to go all out next year. So yeah, leave your recommendations down below. And once again, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope to see you in the next one, which should be my September setup video. So yeah, I will see you next week. Bye bye.